Morning, everybody. 8:15, August 19th. Welcome to my channel. Wow, this market was a barcode yesterday. That was straight up balance. I mentioned it in my channel a bunch of times. I said this is straight up balance. Market internals were literally garbage. I mean, garbage in, garbage out. They were literally all over the place. That just told me pretty much stay away, even though I knew I could buy low, sell high. I told my channel, almost got a short in when 64.70 was broken, and then you immediately got selling. Immediately got buyers caught around 64.74s. You got buyers caught. You had to have been quick. I had an alert, but by the time I got my alert, there was no trade, and then it just was not a. It's where we're at now. We're in 4-day balance now. Really holding these lows. I mean, really holding them. So we have to see what happens. All right. Now, today, there's really nothing, no data really until tomorrow with the FOMC minutes and Fed Waller speaking. Okay. So I don't know if this market's just waiting for Jackson Hole and stuff like that. So I don't know. All right. But without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephen Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gap exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That is my edge. Okay. I also use Anchor VWAPs and my crusty market internals, which gives me really the setup for my day of what I want to do. Okay. What I want to do. Of course, you got my trusty weekly expected move indicator that keeps me on the right side of probability. Of course, go to my Discord and you can see that free indicator in one of the channels. All right, put it up on your charts. Trust me, you will see reactions. Okay, trust me. All right, now I also use Bookmap. So Bookmap's really been a game changer for me. Really, really is I call it my executioner. Okay, so I still do all my same stuff. I look for all the same stuff. However, once I'm ready to trade, I go look at Bookmap, and then it gives me the confidence to pull the trigger. It seems like it's saving me 2 to 3 points of risk, which is huge. Okay, maybe I would do a 5 to 6 point stop, and I'm getting like a 3 to 4 point stop. That's just monsters right there. All right, that's a big difference. Okay, so again, hopefully you subscribe and set an alert. Let me be your morning coffee, tea, water, whatever. Let me be your commute into work. You just listen to me. I'll give you what's going on in the markets. All right, like my good friend Rosita that comes in and out of here. She's like, "You're my podcast. You're my podcast in the morning. I just leave you on." Right? Now that's for the YouTube live stream. She also told me now I'm her second podcast in my Discord. She's like, "If you go live, I have you right in my ear. Whatever trade she's doing, she uses me as an indicator, which everybody should do." Okay, and of course, if you want to follow and join my Discord, that's Confluence Trading. All right, go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, sign up. Now I just posted a video of that short I did on Friday. All right, I made a short. All right, I decided to just go straight to the short, not do a long form video. Okay, not sure what everybody would like. Probably people who follow me would like a long form, so I'm relaxed. I don't have to do things. I don't have to do things that it's in this condensed view because there was a lot more to that trade. You just can't fit all of it in. You just can't. All right, so I'm giving you the meat and potatoes of that trade. Tell me what you feel. Tell me if you like it or not. All right, I'm gonna probably continuing to do them. Okay. All right. So let's get right into futures watch list here. Now remember, this is August, summer months. Tend to end of the August. It tends to be not the greatest of trades. Okay, but all we needed to do is Trump to say something, or get to some spark, get some life into this market. All right. Let's see what's moving here. We have silver. Silver's up 0.24. 30-year bonds up 0.22. Gold up 0.16. Very muted market. Dow's up 0.12. VIX is flat. ES basically flat. Nasdaq's down 0.15, basically flat. Russell's down 0.16. Dollars down 0.18. 10-year yield's down 0.18. Bitcoin's down 0.66. Crude almost down 1%. So crude's getting hit a little bit at $62 a barrel. All right, and then we got Ethereum down 1.21%. Moving on to the Mag 7 Plus here. Let's see what's moving here. Eli Lilly still getting love, right? Got destroyed for a couple weeks. Now it's getting love, right? Nvidia's up 0.19. That's not much to talk about in the up in the leaders. There's laggards here. Let's see. Amazon down 0.28. Google down 0.31. Broadcom down 0.58. And AMD is your laggard down 1.26. 1.26. Top sectors. Let's see. Let's see who's moving the markets here. We have Caterpillar up 1.42. Home Depot, I believe, just reported earnings. They're up 1%. And at the bottom of this list is interesting. Chevron. Chevron is down 1.13%. Interesting. Interesting. Not sure why yet. All right, let's look at a more granular list here. Let's just real quick. What do we got here? Palo Alto up 5.96. Intel up 5.54. Bed Bath Beyond up 2.37%. Let's look at laggards. Whoa. Whoa. Viking Therapeutics is down 29%. That's almost 30%. Wow. Medtronic down 3.57. Roblox down 1.81. Affirm down 1.58. All right. That's enough of that. We're going to move on to sectors. Moving on to sectors. Okay. Not much of a leader. Up 0.02. Healthcare. This is a very muted market. There's no lagger here. Energy down 0.12 with the Chevron. Not much to see there. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. All right, economic calendar. Today we have housing starts, building permits, which pretty much will be a nothing burger. Fed Bowman speaking at 210. Fed speaking at 210. Now, as far as the juice here, what else do we have on tap for today? Trump is interviewed on Fox at 8 o'clock, so that's already happening. Let's see here. Fed Bowman speaks at 10. Trump signs congressional bill at 1. White House press briefing with Levitt at 1. Okay, so certain things. Okay, certain things going on there. There's really not anything to note here in the juice. Really not. All right, let's go with some stock news here. Home Depot stock rose 0.4 after the world's largest home improvement retailer said comparable sales grew 1% in the fiscal second quarter, but also indicated that consumers are staying away from big purchases. Intel stock rose 5.4% after the Japanese tech conglomerate SoftBank agreed to buy $2 billion worth of stock in the beleaguered chipmaker with the goal of building advanced chip-making facilities in the United States. Palo Alto stock surged 6.2% after the cybersecurity company forecast fiscal 2026 revenue and profit above estimates. Eli Lilly stock rose after Chairman David Ricks bought 1.1 million worth of stock, implying confidence in the drug maker's future prospects. Novo Nordisk stock rose 1.1 after Canada's health regulator approved its diabetes drug Ozempic for reducing the risk of kidney failure and disease progression. Whoa, interesting. Two competitors there, right? Anheuser-Busch ADRs rose 1.1 after the brewers said that it would invest $15 million in its U.S. brewery at the time when President Donald Trump is pushing to boost domestic production. Let's just see Viking Therapeutics. Stock slumped 36% after biopharmaceutical company announced its oral weight loss pill only met expectations in a mid-stage study, defying hopes for a blockbuster result. Wow. This biopharma is literally just very volatile. That is a crazy thing to get down that much because of that. And let's see here. Nvidia working on a new AI chip for China that Apple forced to age 20. U.S. spy chief Gabbard says UK agreed to drop backdoor mandate for Apple. Tesla starts taking orders for its new Model Y L in China from around 47,200. All right. Let's see here. If there's anything else to talk about that I didn't say. Let's see. Circle Internet Group. JP Morgan raised target price to 89 from 80. Dick's Sporting Goods. TD Cowen raises target price to 231 from 205. JM Smucker Company. JB raises target price to 120 from 115. Palo Alto Scotia Bank raises target price to 220 from 225. All right, that's enough there. I think we can go to our little trusty breadth indicator here. Where are we at? Oh boy, 51% still. Remember, I always look at this just to see where the breadth is. It's my breadth indicator. Okay, 51% over the 20 day simple moving average and the S&P 500. Okay, that's you're smack in the middle. So basically, 250 stocks above, 250 stocks below. Pretty much in the middle. That's what our market's doing as well. It's just barcoding, right? Barcoding. I think we need some manipulation in this market in order for us to really see some type of move. We're just in this consolidation. Okay. Not only the 4 day balance, but we're really hanging out at these lows. Okay. Really making this bearish price structure that is it going to bear some fruit? That's funny. Bear some fruit. I don't know. I don't know. Let's real quick look at that Fed Watch tool. I mean, last I checked, it was like close to 99% of a cut. Whoa, okay, interesting. Interesting. Let's go to probabilities. No, not probabilities, compare. Wow. So a week ago, we were at 93.6, 82.69. We're at 83. So the odds of a cut have gone down. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's move on. I will flash you internals, and they are disgusting. They are not good. Let's look at those internals. Okay? And this will be really quick. But this is what is important, right? This made me really not want to trade much. This does open up longs and shorts, which I said on my Discord yesterday, but this is very, very erratic. That is not a trend at all. And you finally got some normal towards the end of the day, but there was nothing there. Okay? You could see communications, Meta was down. It held those 760s, which I talked about on my channel. Tesla had some decent gains. Tech, look, was up. I mean, healthcare was down yesterday. It's just it was not. There was not much to look at yesterday. Okay, let's look at daily charts now. Let's look at dailies. Four-day bounce. 4 day balance, folks. Here's our range. There you go, folks. 4 day balance. What are we going to do in this balance? I don't know. Okay, where are we at now? Where are we at now? We are 643.20. 643.20. We are right there. Right, yesterday's close, basically. Unchanged. Horrible. Horrible price action right now. It's really not tempting at all. At all. Let's look at futures. Look at futures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that doji and another doji. We need something here. We need something here to move these markets. This is horrible. Okay, we didn't hit the 9 daily yet. I think we did on the Qs. All right, so moving on, Qs. Let's see how they're looking. Here's your Q. Now the Qs, look at that. It's been in a downtrend. It's not in balance. Now overall, this can look like balance because of this candle. But we were just moving down. Now look, it almost hit the 90 daily yesterday. Okay, little black lines Friday's close. That's last month's highs. The orange is last week's range, last week's highs, last week's lows. We're kind of in the middle of last week's range. Okay, what are we going to do here? I don't know. 576.71, 576.71. We are right here. Yeah, you're in the middle of yesterday's range. Pretty much horrible trade location. Let's go to the Nasdaq futures. Look at that. Ugh. Just lower lows, lower highs, right? And then you have a day of balance here in futures. You did hit the 90 daily in futures. That usually gets a bounce the first test. Look, the last time we went there, bounced off of it, right? So what are we going to do here? I don't know. We're actually underneath last month's highs. We're in the middle of last week's range. That's what we're looking at, folks. That is what we're looking at. Okay. Triple-headed monster means nothing right now. That bond market is just not doing anything, and the VIX hasn't been doing much of anything either. Okay. So we're going to skip that. And we'll just real quickly go to the hourly charts because they're pretty ugly, but we just got to talk, obviously, about what I'm seeing here. I'm going to put some marker out here for us while I go over to the hourlies. Here's our hourlies. All right, let's look at this. Well, obviously, these 64.55s about has just been support, right? Can't seem to break it. Now, in the overnight, you did break this support. Well, guess what? We're back up here. Okay, now there's an important note here. The 64.71s now have become the most traded price of the week. So that's moved from 64.80s. 64.80s. I'm actually let me move this here because now I know this is my composite high volume box. So I'm going to put one on 80s here. I'm going to make it a little smaller. It doesn't have to be that big. Right there. Okay. That just makes me know that there's a high volume composite node there. Okay. So, but we move the most traded price lower. That is still bearish, right? We keep accepting price lower, right? This all leads to the little feather in the cap for the bears that we could break this support. Once you break this support, you don't really have much structure here. You could really dip, but we have to see. We have to see. Okay? Remember, I got the anchored view up from the all-time highs. Sellers are still in control. That blue line. Okay? Moving on to NASDAQ. NASDAQ is definitely in a downtrend, like I just pointed out before. Okay? Just pointed out before. And the support for the NASDAQ has been 23730s. 23730s. Now, this is already ate into this structure, cleaned it up. Then you have this. This is that CPI day. Okay. So I'm going to take this off because the buyers from this have been done. They're taken out. This is the all-time highs anchored view up. They are in control. Sellers are in control of this market. Right now, you can look at this as a dotted bottom. You can look at this as a head and shoulders here, neckline here. Basically, now the 238s. The 238s is your new most traded price of the week. Also bearish structure. Okay. Bearish structure. I can show you right here. We'll put a volume profile, let's say right from here. You'll see that probably that's the most traded price. Yep. See that right? 238s. There it is. No surprise there. Okay. So over 238, that's your bull bear line. That's your bull bear line. 64.71s in the ES is your bull bear line. Okay. Now I think what we need to see here, you need to see some type of either take this out, rip up, fail here to then go lower, right? Or you rip up into this. Everybody thinks, okay, we're getting bought. Come under here, retest it, and go lower. Something needs to happen, okay? This is garbage. Now look, this is overnight, the shaded area, the lightly shaded area, right? But if you just really look at the real-time trading hours of yesterday, that was really this area, right? And look, we're back inside that area again. We made a little move up, but that was really it. The bulk of the trade is happening underneath the 238s. Okay? That's hourly charts. Okay, that's hourly charts. Now, we can move on. We can move on to the market profile, volume profile. We'll get into some analysis here. Okay? Let me pull those up. Now I have some time here. All right. Let's look at here. We can open this up a little bit. Okay. We have some time. I can share with you my express chart just to give you a different look at profiles. All right. Now yesterday was a very rare day. Why? Because the ES, look at this little range. The overnight range is bigger than yesterday's range, and the overnight range again engulfed the real-time trading hour session. So, which is that's kind of not normal. And yesterday we did not hit an overnight low or an overnight high. That happens 97% of the time. So yesterday was an anomaly. Okay, yesterday was an anomaly. Had a little balanced profile yesterday. Now you have a balanced profile in the overnight. So we're balanced to balanced. Okay, we did not clean up this structure here in the overnight. Right, we went down here in this overnight session. This is still poor structure up here. Okay, now you could see profile. Here's our weekly composite profile. You could see it lacks excess to the downside. Okay, so this has a bearish imbalance to it. So if we're looking at equal distribution, you can look at a move like this. That would be a completed profile. So like I'm saying, it's leaning towards a move to the downside. Does it happen? I don't know. I don't know that. Okay. Now, I promised you an express chart. Let's go to it. All right. This is real quick. Every blue profile is a week. So I just have to look at blue profiles, and those are my weekly bars, but they're in profiles, right? So I can just see, okay, what have we been doing in the ES? Wow, look at this support here, weekly support in the ES, right? Around the, let's just call it 6250s. Wow, I can see weekly support there, right? Right off the bat. Then you got monthlies are in these whites. That's the monthly profiles. Okay. What do we have here? Two monthlies right here, right? All right. So it's right off the bat. That's what I love about it. I can see weeklies, monthlies, right? I got month to date anchor VWAPs here. That's that one line. Okay. So if we're going to look at the ES, I just said 64.71 is the new most traded price of the week. Well, on this chart, it doesn't do rolling. This chart doesn't do rolling. It just does most traded price of the month. That is 64.68. So rounded about to 64.71. So that is the most traded price of this month. Very important level. Now you see the poor structure here. Remember, if we take out 64.71s or the 68s, the next high volume node would be here. See this high volume node here? That's around your, that's the ultimate balance I talk about, 64.10s. That's your ultimate balance. Okay? That's how that works. Notice this high volume node here. That's what held all of this action. Okay, so that's your ES. That's how I like to look at it. It just gives me a different look. Let's go to your NASDAQ. Let's go to your NASDAQ. Let's bring it down here. And what do you see here? Your NASDAQ most traded price of the month is your 23933s, 23930s. I had that as a composite high volume node. Okay, that's the most traded price of August. Of August. Okay. Now, just mention this. Every white line is the VPOC for the week. VPOC for the week. You can see here from about, this is the most traded price of the rolling year, and just call it 220. 220 is the mean. And you notice less and less and less and less trading is happening. Less and less participants. Okay, not saying the move is over, just saying that's how the market works. All right. We are currently at the most traded price of this week. See, there's a little white line. It's hard to see it. Okay. So you got a key support here. Last week's lows here, 236s. Anchor VWAP for the month right there. So we'll have to see. So hopefully that shined a little light. One thing to note here, if we go over daily charts here, let's look at the ES. Let's look at the ES real quick. This is a good, because this is back adjusted, but it nice because it shows you all levels from the past. Okay, so right here, you can see that 9 a.m. daily roll is going to touch it. You have a daily demand zone right here. Okay, let's give you a precise level on that daily demand zone. That would start at 64.30s. That goes into the ultimate balance. Okay, that's going to be a tough area to get through, but we possibly can. Okay, Nasdaq. Let's look at that Nasdaq. Okay, now look, you're hitting the 9 EMA daily. Okay, and you're also in this daily demand zone right here. That started at around, this is called 238. 238 is that daily demand. All right, you need to really take out this level here to 236, which I just mentioned, to really get something cooking in the Nasdaq. All right, hopefully that made sense to everybody. Write a question if you don't follow what I'm looking at. I welcome all questions are welcomed. All right, I'm not sure if my boy Amalio's here, Documents, Rosita, or somebody new. Say hi if you just joined. I know I'm getting people in my Discord every day. Um, so say hi if you want. Stay quiet if you want. I tell everybody I do this if nobody listened. All right, I would do this if nobody listens. All right, let's get some levels. We know we have supported the 64.53s, the 50s. So this area just continues to be supportive. Okay, that is support. Now, price is here at the close of yesterday. Horrible, just horrible trade location here. Okay, now we know we have 64.70s. Ones is our most traded price of the week. You can see the high volume node here. Okay, we have supply right on it, right there. We have a supply zone right around the old 64.80s, which is the older price, most traded price of the rolling week. Okay, this is really the area we want to concentrate in. All right, this is the area I really want to look at. Anything outside of this is really like probably not going to happen today. So let's do scenarios. We are going to start with a bear side. They are in control right now, a little bit. All right, let's open up this profile. Remember, this is just 30-minute bars. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay. So, what do I want to see? We are close to the midpoint of yesterday. I want to get away from that. So, I would love a push up into the supply. Now, you can get a beautiful setup here, 64.70s. Look like it's going to take out yesterday's highs. Maybe it just wicks it, comes underneath, retests, and then you can try to take it off here at the overnight lows at 64.54 and hold a runner to break, finally break the 64.50s. And then let's see, you might run into this high volume node here or ultimate balance around 64.10. I don't know, right? We're coiling up 4 days. The more we coil up, the bigger the move is going to be. Okay. If this most traded price of the month, which is currently 64.06s, if this moves up to 64.70s, ultimate balance will happen and the bigger move will even happen. Okay. So it's all about the 64.70s and 64.80s. Now, another situation that could happen is a push up into 64.80s. You break that poor structure here, but then fail, come back in. Also make the move towards yesterday's lows and overnight lows. Try to break the 150s, the 450s, sorry. Okay. Other than that, let's say if we just break this and we start holding, well, then we might get the move lower as well. All right. That is your short side. Your long side. Your long side. All right. So what we need to see here is same kind of thing. Failure here. Push down, break those overnight lows and yesterday's lows. Come down here, take out the 50s. Take out the 50s. like a bear trap, recover, start to get some higher lows to go back to the mean, to go back in here. Now, of course, the internals can't be weak to do this. That could be a bunch of manipulation there. And then we go back to the mean. We're not ready to break out yet. And then possibly if you break out and hit and hold 6480, we go back, bounce highs around 6500. Okay? Who knows if that's in the cards? I don't know. All right, but that's something I would be looking for. In here, okay, let me make sure everybody understands this. If we start to move in here long and in this area, this is a chop zone. If we stay in there, I don't want to be in there. Between 6480s and 6470s, that is a chop zone. That's where the market needs to make a decision here. Either you break 6480s and hold and go up, reject 6480s, go under 6470s and go down, but this can be a lot of games in there. Okay, don't want to be involved in that. If you miss this move back into here and then you're trying to do something in here, good luck. All right, that's your ES. Then NASDAQ. Let's look at our NASDAQ here. All right. Hope everybody's with me. All right. Let's look at our situation here. Profile. We got double distribution. Okay, double distribution profile. We are not in balance like the ES, but we're building balance. Okay, this little area here is a little bit of balance, but that's not enough sessions, and you can see the profile is really not balanced yet. Okay, now price is here. All right, you got a nice low here, right here. Okay, right here, this area here, got a demand zone right here. This area. Okay, your 237s. Okay, 23730 to down to 237. All right. Let's see if you can break it. Okay. Let's see if the market can break it. Now the price is right here. Okay, we're inside yesterday's range. Okay, we have a poor low. Poor low that needs to be corrected. Right there. Okay. See if we get manipulation down here. Now we know, look at this level. This is the new most traded price of the week, the 238s. Got a supply zone. Overnight high is right in here. Okay, right in here. Now, a major level is still your 23930s. That's your most traded price of this month. This month. Okay. Remember, other levels I usually talk about are rolling. They're constantly rolling. They're not like of August or of the last month, rolling month. Okay, the last 30 days or so. Okay. So we're not in a great price here where we are right here. It's just ugly. Building out some volume here. So let's go and just get right into scenarios. And of course, I'm going to start with the bearish case. Price here. All right, we're at the most traded price of yesterday. All right, you can even see we're building out volume right here as well. Fine, 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 fine. All right, let's open up this profile so we can look at the price action. You can see the poor low, all that. Okay. So, price is here. Same thing. What do I want to see if I want to get long? Well, there's a demand zone here, and I think this could be a bear trap. You break that, find the overnight lows. Might even have to tip here to 23718s, maybe a little farther. Get some higher low. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We're talking about bear side, right? So let me talk about the bear side. All right. So what can happen here? One of two things. Either we rip back up, test the supply with the 238s, fail, retest it, go down, then that poor low is very tasty. Yesterday's lows 23718s, and then to see if you could break the 237s and see if you can test the 236s, right, which would be pretty much last week's lows. Okay. Now, of course, nothing's perfect. There could be manipulation here. There can be, oh my God, we're going, hits the end of the supply or resistance, tests back, and then we fall. We're in bearish structure, so we have to do something eventually. Right now, the way this market's structured, it should move lower, but it doesn't have to. Everybody knows that. Okay. Anything above 238s, I'm going to be cautious with shorts. I'm not going to like it that much. Okay. I'm not going to like it that much. All right. That's your short side. Talking about longs. Okay. Longs. All right. So I would love to get this taken out right away. Take out the RGH low from yesterday, 237.18, 75s. Push down. You might even have to in the Nasdaq because it's it's a squirrely, uh, uh, wild stallion. It might have to hit this demand zone. That would be 23675s. And if the internals are not that weak and we recover, do something like this, then you get some higher lows. Yeah, I would love a reversion to the mean. So your 238s. Okay, that could be it. If you break this supply zone and start to hold 238s, we could really start to make a run back to 23930s. Okay, so that's probably the only long. Now, if the market becomes super strong today, let's say we do this, break this supply, start to hold and hold and hold, but I mean the market has to be pretty strong, then I would contemplate taking a long there. The way this market has been, though, it's disconnected every day. I don't know if it has that in it. Trump might have to say something. Who knows? I don't know. Okay? So, this is what I'm looking at. I'm leaning short because of the structure. But again, market opens, I'm open to whatever. You got to be like the water, right? Go with the flow. So that's it for me today. Please smash that like button. All right, that would mean a lot to me. All right, show me some love. All right, now, please, 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 if you can, join me every morning. Subscribe, set an alert. Let me be your news. Let me be your podcast. Okay? I'll give you everything you need to know why the market's doing what it's doing before it opens. Okay? Give you technical analysis, economic calendar, market news. All right? I just gave you long and short trade scenarios. And specifically, right, I just made a short of my trade, my short trade on Friday in the futures market. Yes, okay? Check it out. I posted it on my Discord. I posted it on a bunch of social media. All right? Check the video out. Let me know what you think. Now, in the beginning of that video, I share the pre-market scenario I made that morning about 64.80. And it literally comes to fruition. And that was my trade. Okay? So you have a process, right? Your process can start with me. You know, what I would say to you is what I did when I started was a couple guys, Josh Schuler from Trade with Profile, Futures Trader 71, but mainly Peter Reznicek from Shadow Trader. He puts out this thing called pre-market perspective. And what I would do every day is I would do my own report, like I'm doing now. I do it. And then I would wait till he did his and see if it matched. Every day I would do that. Every day until eventually it was sunk. I was seeing it just as he saw it. Now, I didn't. It didn't come like boom. I could just come up with it. Then I'd really have to look at it. But now, just want to make sure everybody understands. I do not look at this until I look at it with you guys. This is live. I don't come up with my scenarios before and then rehearse them, and I do it live. I can see it that quick. All right? I can see it that quick. So, that's basically it, folks. All right? Now, if you want more in depth, all right, you want me more in depth, join my Discord, Confluence Trading. All right? Let me be your indicator. I update my commentary in the market. I've been going live every day, too. We get like literally have me live. Literally come in the room and ask questions. I don't mind answering, especially when there's a barcode market. Literally, sop it up like a biscuit, sop it up like a sponge. If I had me free, I would be ecstatic. Ecstatic because I had to go and pay mentors in the beginning to literally soak up their knowledge. Okay? And you get it for me for free. I don't know how long that's going to be. This YouTube stream will be free, but there's future plans to have courses, to have a community that you'll get more of me. Okay? So that's in the future. Don't worry about that now. All right. Also, remember that weekly expected move indicator on Thinkorswim. Go to my Discord. It will be there. Put it on your charts. All right. Now, everybody, have a great day. Remember, no trade is a trade. Yesterday, I had no trades. Zero. Okay. Zero trades. Okay. And today, I don't know. This market's not looking great. But I have to wait for the opportunities. All right. So, everybody, have a great day. If I don't see you in my Discord, which I hope I do, I'll see you tomorrow morning. All right, everybody.